FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And in this video guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you me trading the London session. I believe that there is a lot of things that people can learn from watching somebody trade a London session. So I hope that this brings you some value. Now keep in mind that this London session was filmed a few months back. So please keep that in mind. But still, I believe you're going to get great value from it because you can literally see my thought process throughout the entire session, looking at each individual pair, telling you guys what is it that I'm thinking about, what am I looking for, things of that nature. So hopefully you guys get a huge value from this particular video. Without further ado, let's get this started. All right, guys. So as we come into the London session, all right, what are we looking to do? What is your thought process essentially? So when I come into the London session, my thought process is pretty simple. What specific trade setups meet my requirements and my rules that I set for myself in my trading plan, right? So as long as you have your trading plan right now and you know what that is, essentially, then you know how to apply your rules. But if you don't have a trading plan and you're just coming into this very blindly, you're not going to have any kind of structure, and most importantly, you're not going to have any kind of consistency, right? So when I come into the charts here during London, all right, I'm going to go ahead and essentially try to identify certain setups that I can possibly predict that I would want to happen. All right, let's go through these. For example, Euro JPY. So Euro JPY, I've been in a trade since the previous day, since Sunday, Monday here. All right, and so this is a swing trade that I'm taking. But anyway, so on Euro JPY right here, what I'm thinking about right now is we've come off of a trending cycle the previous week. Okay. And essentially we're right now currently is Wednesday, and what have we been doing so far for the entire week? Right, we made a move up Monday, came back down Tuesday, went back up during the Asian session, and now we're going back down again. So essentially right now this looks like a trending cycle to me. You see this, right? With that behavior present, and you have the EMAs in your to use in your favor here, meaning you can use them to predict essentially where price might go. So what I would want to happen here is, if this is a trending cycle, then obviously I would be looking for buys, and I'd have a bias towards having a buy. All right. So essentially what I would want to happen is I would want to possibly get maybe a type 2 pattern off of this 800 EMA, and then basically going up, right? And that's just basically to continue the move from Sunday, Monday. And that's what I would be looking for on Euro JPY. All right, let's go to look on Euro Pound. Euro Pound, if you look, we basically had an entire market maker cycle. We just had the bottom here, which is a W, 1, 2, and then 3, which is being peak formation high, and then now we're going back down again. So a couple things. Tuesday, you had a full movement down, okay? So this could mean one of two things. We're either going to be in a trending cycle going down, or actually we're going to be in a market maker cycle, and this would be, let's say, either a movement sideways day, or you would basically have a move back up opposite. Okay, which is like midweek reversal, let's say, right? So for this pair, for me to have to be a trending cycle, I would be expecting what? I would be expecting one of two things if this was a trending cycle. I'd be expecting either a type 3 where it comes up here, bounces off the middle, and then off the 50 here to sell. Okay, that's one. If not, if that won't happen, then the other option And this is, of course, I'm saying if this is a trending cycle going down, then this would be going up here possibly for a type 1 and then going back down again. Basically either a type 3 here where it's pinning to the 50, or possibly a type 1 here where it's pinning to the 200. Okay, so that's what I would be looking for on this particular pair if it was a trending cycle going down. Now, the only reason I'm thinking of a trending cycle is because of the obvious glare of this right here possibly being peak formation high. Okay, this would be level 1 going down, basically level 2 here. So you'd want more cells. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking about when I look at this. Now, another thing that I'm thinking about on this is, what is the news events? Are there any news events today? Because that could potentially affect what we do, right? So let's take a look and see if there's any news events. 7 o'clock, there's news events for pound. And so this is Bank of England member, whatever. Not really too big of a deal. Okay, you see CAD has a bank holiday today, so they're not even probably trading today. If, let's say, if this was a market maker cycle and you had a full day of drop on Tuesday, Wednesday could be several different things actually. You could have a situation where basically Wednesday does this complete sideways movement. You could be where you do that. So any of those factors there. And then the TDI here really is just kind of in the middle here. You could see it's basically being squeezed, as you could see there. So TDI is really not helping us at all. So let's look at the other pound pairs to see if we can get a better idea as to what this could possibly do. So if we look at pound JPY, we had a huge move on Tuesday, whole day, right? Came back down, and now we had, what is this, 100 pip, almost 100 pip range during Asia. All right, and when you look at this, it's coming out here. It didn't go to the very top, to the middle at all here. It got rejected from the 50. And realistically, the only thing here that I would possibly be looking for, because of what happened during Asia, is for this to start basically a trending cycle going up. All right, so maybe a bounce, maybe like a type 2 here where it's bouncing off of the 200. So something like that is what I would be thinking right now as to what the possibilities are for this. But for right now, this isn't very clear of a setup, so it's not very clear yet as to what it wants to do. If we look at pound USD, kind of very similar. You had a huge move up Tuesday, and so today we could get movement sideways for Wednesday. On this one here, it's not really clear yet to me as to what it could possibly do. I just have to wait longer on this one, because you just had a big movement like this, right? Double bottom here, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday reverse. Typically, I would like to see like movement to go back up here and tag the 800 and make it like a multi-session M going back down again. That would make it like a market maker cycle. But right now it's really early to tell what could possibly happen with this one. If you look on the higher time frames, we're in a clear downtrend, right? You can see that we're clearly in a downtrend here. That's very clear and obvious, right? So it's going to be very interesting, and I say that because you can see here that we broke the previous. When you're creating a downtrend, you're having lower highs, lower lows. Well, the lower low was never created, and it broke the previous lower high, which is right here. So essentially, what this is telling me is that this could go either way. So we don't know yet. We have to let this develop and see what's happening, and see essentially what's going to happen. This one very clearly had a strong move, but then it went right back down. So if you look, this one seems to be in a very downtrend, or trending cycle, I should say, for the week. The way that this one is looking right now is potentially this could have been a type 3 here early on. We just have to wait and see if this continues and breaks this high here, if it doesn't. But clearly, this definitely seemed to be a type 3 here, super early on. Again, not in a rush to get into any trades or anything like that, and really just have to wait to see what develops or happens with this. Pound CHF or pound NZD looks like it's an accumulation cycle this week, meaning that it's basically stuck, moving sideways, back and forth, back and forth. You can see on the TDI, the yellow line here is basically right at the 50, and you're getting a squeeze of the Bollinger Bands on the outside, and it's also basically in the middle. So very similar with price points doing the same thing here. You also have the 200 going straight through price. So not the most ideal type of scenario to look at, or pair to look at today. This one here, you can clearly see that it has really good potential for a trending cycle, because what have we been doing this week so far? You see that? So clearly we've been moving in a trending up fashion on this particular pair. If that's the case, you have a potential to either have what I would be looking for, maybe a type 3 here, if it gets rejected off of this middle of the range, or it could actually make it to the bottom here and go ahead and give us a type 2 to go up higher. So my bias on this one would probably be more of buys than sells, because we're already also above the 200 EMA as well. Euro CAD had a really strong move Tuesday, so you already see what's happening here. This looks to be in a trending cycle this week because of that huge move. So what I would expect is I would want more downside. The problem is obviously that we're right here at the lower low. So I would expect this to come back up, possibly to the 50 or even higher, maybe all the way up to this 200, and then we'd be looking for sells. So there's a possibility we could get, let's say, maybe a type 1 setup here to go long, but that's a very short-lived trade, and I would really want to see a reversal and actually a sell out of this at some point, whether it's in the New York session today or tomorrow. Gold is essentially looking like it's in a trending cycle this week. Okay, because you can see it's been basically trending up the whole time. So gold is like something that moves fairly quickly. So if anything, I would want a pullback here, maybe to come back and hit the middle or the 50 here and continue to go higher. So possibly like a type 3 scenario. We're already above previous week's highs. So we're trading already above that. So we're clearly in an uptrend and a trending cycle this week. So because of that, the only way to get into a trade here would be for price to come back down to the middle and give us a bounce off possibly the 50 here, and then you could take it to go up higher. But let's go ahead. We've gone through pretty much the main ones that I would normally look at. I don't typically do any of Euro USD. Euro USD pretty much is moving sideways, so, and also has the EMAs going straight through it. Not a real big fan of that. You can see that we're basically in an accumulation cycle. We're basically bouncing. So not the very best type of trade setup to even look at. So what we're gonna do is essentially you open up, if you're using MetaTrader, you open up MetaTrader here or TradingView, put the multiple views on, and essentially watch these pairs. And we'll watch a couple of these here. We'll watch the most important ones so far. So gold, you can see we're already wanting to get a move down here. Euro CAD, do we have? What you could do also if you're using, if you're using TradingView, what you can do is use these little rankings here as far as what you would want to see happen. So for example, on Euro JPY, we'd be looking for buys, right? So let's say put the little colors here as like green, so that way you know what you're looking for. You don't have to kind of, you know, do it all over again. But let's see. So yeah. So what happens is when you do that, you can see the little icon here, the flagged icon would give you the little indicator of what it is or what you're looking for. We're getting a reaction here from pound USD at the middle of the range. It's getting rejected and also bouncing off the 50 EMA here. You could see that. If this was possibly going to be a type 3 setup here, it would look something like this here. I mean, right now you'd be looking at 11 pips stop loss. And then obviously going 30 pips at least, creating new highs. So we'll do a buy on that there. About a 15 pip stop loss now, 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And then you see euro pound right now bouncing off the middle range. It'll do the opposite. So what we can do, I'll put a sell here for that. This pound Swiss here, for having a trending cycle, same thing. What you want to be buying is, I don't want to do it again on this one here. It's this one. I don't like how pound JPY is looking right now. I mean, like how this is not touching either one. It's literally in the middle, bouncing. I don't like that, so I'm not going to worry about that one right now. Euro JPY, like I said, we've already been in that trade, so that's nothing there. And that's it. So, all right, so here. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and adjust everything. As far as the stop loss, take profit. So let's do this one first here. About 30 pips is going to be about the 800 EMA, so we'll put it right around here, and then stop loss, we'll move it up right below this 200 EMA. We're almost about a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, pretty much. Yeah, we're right there at a 2-to-1. This one here, what we'll do is we'll bring this one down. Obviously this thing's all the way down here at 75 something pips. We're going to try to aim towards previous week's low. I think it's going to be huge though. We'll see here in a second what that looks like. So we're about a 10 pip loss, and I mean clearly the bigger picture is down here, but you can see we're well over 2-to-1 risk reward ratio on this one. And then on this, we're actually going to move it into profit because we've been in it already, and then we're actually trying to go up higher on this one. We're trying to hold it for a higher high, so we'll see what happens here. Alright, so those are essentially the orders. We'll get rid of this stuff here so it's not in the way and it'll be more clear to see. Whenever you guys are doing this, by the way, make sure that you have your trading plan with you, obviously, and you know that you're following your trading plan, okay? That you're following it. I have my trading plan. I know what it is. It's in front of me. It's actually on my wall. So I get to look at it every day, all day long. So I know what my trading plan is. I've been doing this for so long now that it's just, you know, kind of like very black and white to me, you know. So you become like, it's almost like you become a machine almost, you know, when you're doing it. And so what helps me a lot is when I'm trading is basically trading like by myself. Like I don't have any distractions. I'm not worried about what the trade room is, what's going on in Telegram or Facebook or any of that stuff. Um, I do my trade setups, and then once I get my trade setups and I have the trades in, I like to just go ahead and literally do something else. So whether that's, and I mean something else to basically take the distraction away. All right. So if you like to read a book, if you like to play video games, whatever it is that you like to do, is something that you need to do. Okay. Because sitting here and watching the charts, literally minute by minute, second by second, is going to do nothing but drive you crazy, and it's going to literally bring your emotions into play, which you don't want to do. You want things to be very black and white, very yes or no type of scenario, and it's very hard for you to do that if you're, you're constantly looking at it. So I would say if you need to look at it, I mean, check it every 30 minutes or so. Don't sit here in front of the charts, just blatantly, like literally, looking at it or whatnot. So don't do that. It'll just drive you crazy. All right. But find something to distract yourself, whether it's, like I said, watching a movie, if you have a second monitor, the best thing you could possibly do is do some back testing on the other monitor. So have one monitor with your trades on, the other monitor you could be doing some back testing on. So that's another thing as well. You could be listening to some trading psychology audio. You can do a bunch of stuff. It doesn't matter as long as you're not just sitting there and looking at it over and over and over again. Okay, so as price gets closer to your take profit, you have a couple of choices. Essentially, you can move up your stop loss to protect it, or essentially you can move down your take profit and move up your stop loss to keep going. Essentially, and you can use the strategy that we talked about where you can keep going as long as price is below the 5, or in this case above the 5. So it's up to you, but really, when we're talking about a standard lot size, 30 pips is, roughly around $300. So pretty much, pound Swiss is literally right there. Euro pound's already past that, and pound USD is almost there as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move the stop loss into profit, so we're protecting essentially, and we're at a risk-free trade. Now also another thing to keep in mind is that it's 6:15, 6:30 or so you could technically go ahead and close out the trade, and I mean, be happy. So what we're going to do in this case is, because it's 6:15, 6:30 almost, we'll go ahead and close out the trades in profit. So there you go. All right, guys. So as of that particular session, we ended up getting into 4 trades. EJ we had already been in. We ended up getting stopped out on that particular trade, and so we ended up getting about $250 from EJ. Pound CHF, we ended up getting 260. Euro pound, we ended up getting 380, and pound USD, we ended up getting about 220. All right, so in total, about $1,100 or so, give or take, and that's it. So 4 trades throughout that London session. And as you can see, once we got to 6:15, 6:30, I'd rather take the money that I have, cut any losses, avoid any losses, and then just go back to bed. Honestly, because if you can secure $1,000 like in a couple of hours, I mean, to me that's enough for one day's trading. So I'd rather close out the trade than keep it open and not be able to to continue watching it or have to babysit it for several more hours. So me personally, if it's $1,000, I'm cool with that. Get it out, close all the trades, and then believe me, you'll be going to bed pretty happy compared to going to bed, leaving the trades open, and then wondering, and then sometimes not being able to sleep because you're literally always thinking about the trades that you left open. All right. So I hope this brought you some value, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for your support. If you liked the video and you like that type of content, please leave a like and a comment down below, guys, and we will see you in the next video. Guys, if you enjoy the content that we produce on this channel, if you find value in that content, please consider joining us in our next FXN Masterclass. You can see the date that our next class will be held. All of the information is linked below in the description of this video. We hope to see you in the next masterclass so we can help you reach all of your trading goals, guys. Have a great rest of your day.